Alrighty guys, I'm finally gonna talk about my stay at a mental institution a couple weeks back. First, some backstory. Depressed as fuck. Keep telling myself I'm some chivalrous bro that gets along with the ladies pretty well as a result. For the most part, that's true. Most people know that I'd never do anything deliberately to hurt someone I care about. Tend to stick up for others, etc. Have been struggling with depression and such for a while. Close female friend of mine is always there when I need her, talked me out of suicide once. Start talking about dating, she agrees to give it a shot. Keeps backing out of dates at the last minute. She doesn't really want to try. Eventually she finally tells me she doesn't want to try things out. Was kind of drunk and flew off the fucking handle at her over the phone. Realized how horrible I was being when she started crying and asking what she could do to make me happy. Realized I've always been this way to people I cared about. Always asking too much, nothing's ever good enough, etc. Hate myself and take a fuck ton of pills to kill the bastard I had become. And, lo and behold, the girl talks me out of it again. Tell dad, who takes me to the hospital, stay 2 days and get put into a mental ward at another hospital. Sitting in my empty, furnitureless room in the unaliving tank part of the hospital. Big dudes come in with a stretcher. Wheel me into an ambulance. Driver doesn't talk. Guy who sits in the back with me is bro tier but eventually stops talking. I had to watch as the only places I had ever known were pulled backwards away from me as an ambulance transported me to some far away place. Kinda freaked out. Arrive at a hospital. Silently wheeled in through a door that was locked. Ambulance brothers just stand there like tards trying to figure out how to get in because they'd never been to this particular hospital before. Eventually get let in. Wheeled into a hallway. No one around, no camera outside, no fucking idea who unlocked the door. Finally find some lady at a big desk in a nearby hallway. Bro tier ambulance man spits some psych med jargon at her and she tells him where to take me. Some dude comes so we don't get lost. Down an elevator. Through some hallways, taking a ton of twists and turns for some reason. Up an elevator. Now in front of a locked door. Nurse comes and opens the door from the other side. Dark hallways. One going straight from the door, with a small one directly left when you go in the door, later found out it leads to cafeteria. Little farther down on the right there's a medium-sized hall with a bunch of rooms on either side. Straight down in a really long hallway lined with patient rooms. Short hallway has a camera facing the wall at the end, and a fucking flickering light at the end. Get let out of stretcher. Nurse makes uses one of those metal detector wands on me. Leads me into a room and asks standard medical questions. Tells me jewelry is allowed when she sees my silver cross necklace in my bag of belongings. DivineProtection.png. Change into 2 hospital gowns. One facing the normal way, with the ass hanging out. Other one backwards so as to cover dat ass. Lead me down the medium hallway, patient rooms down the left side. Right under the flickering light. God fucking damn it, of course. Hear abrupt scream from down long hallway, I think. God fucking damn it. Lead me into room next to flickering light. 2 beds, 2 desks, small bathroom with god tier shower. Some dude in bed farthest from door. Nurse wakes him. Middle of the night BTW. He says his name is Colin before passing the fuck out. Looks about 17. I was 17 at the time, BTW. Turned 18 a bit after I got out of the hospital. Lay awake all fucking night. Colin wakes up. Seems like a bro. Tells me about the routine of this place, he's been here about 5 days. Fucker is only 14, a Satanist, and a white supremacist. Originally assumed he was just an edgelord, but later it seemed like he actually knew his shit. Colin ends up being a friend, despite his Satanism and edginess. Anyways, they give me my regular clothes so I shower and change. Go to leave the room and glance into the open door across the hallway. It's a fucking solitary cell. Completely empty except for a camera in a corner and a small window. Door can be opened from outside at any point, no key required for some reason. Can't be opened from the inside without a key. Go to cafeteria for breakfast. Now I'm gonna give a brief account of people I met there. Colin. 14 yo. Satanist. White supremacist. Friend. Has a thing for popsicle. Popsicle. 13. Female. That's about all I know. Megan. About to graduate high school. Solid fucking 10/10s. Still in contact with her. More than friends.jpg. On an unrelated note, she was wearing the sexiest fucking shorts at the time. Trey. Black dude. 17. Has a thing for Mackenzie. Stereotypical black man, for the most part. Talks about how he's gonna kill some sorry little shit when they discharge him. Demetrius roommate. Mackenzie. 13, I know. Trey is fucking disgusting for that one. Funny as hell. Smart as hell. Extremely friendly. Demetrius. 16 yo. Anger issues. Trey's roommate. Pretty good artist. Fat. I should probably point out that everyone was there for unaliving attempts. Most by wrist cuts. Me and Megan were the only people there for attempted ODs. Chat Megan up a bit at meal times. Other than that, day is uneventful. Still haven't spoken with a psychologist. Still haven't had proper medical examination. They never gave me my necklace BTW. Go to bed and have vile fucking nightmares probably because no necklace. Nightmares started first night in original hospital, first time I slept without necklace. Can't remember many specifics, but usually when I remember nightmares they're me watching as people I care about, always women such as mom, sister, friends, girlfriends, etc. Being tortured while I'm powerless to help them. Nightmares spook me a little. Start praying more often. Do a simple cleansing ritual before I sleep now. Anyways. Finally see psychologist and medical examiner. Examiner says I'm physically healthy. All the psychologist has to say is that I'm the most interesting patient he's ever had. Been told things like that by a surprisingly large amount of psychologists, therapists, etc. That makes me think I'm fucking insane and just don't know it. He tells me I'm extraordinarily intelligent. Psychologist, Dr. Simon, says weird, unrelated shit whenever I bring up something that bothers me / about why I'm in the hospital. For some reason, it always helps. Doesn't even hint that he knows I'm mentally unhealthy. He prays with me because we're both Christ fags. Go to bed. Can't sleep. The nurse gives me an antipsychotic and antihistamine with a side effect of drowsiness to help me sleep. Wake up every 2 hours or so covered in sweat with an unshakable sense of dread. Immediately think some evil forces are having their way with me because of a certain interaction I had with a diviner who said that The holy icon you carry will protect you from evil so long as you carry it and use it respectfully. That day is when I started the cleansing ritual. I also call Dad and ask him to try and pick up a copy of Crowley's Magic in Theory and Practice.
Most interesting patient he's ever had. He tells me I'm extraordinarily intelligent. I'm pretty convinced you're me now. Gonna lurk until your story's done.
I can piratically feel my dad's "Day fuck you talkin' 'bout" stare through the phone. At this point, no one knows that I started to look into occult stuff. Tell him it has methods of meditation that I think will come in handy for recovery/time passing. He agrees to look into it. Emphasize the importance so he actually looks into it. Get off the phone and start going to therapy groups. Groups are boring as fuck and never help/teach you anything. One group is stupid shit like painting and drawing. Only go to see if any of the crazier patients will go spaghetti. Sadly no one does that day. Chat with Megan and Colin at meal times. Go to bed, perform a very simple cleansing ritual I remembered reading about on /x/. Literally just showering until clean without using soap or anything. Doubt it actually works, but why the fuck not? Recite the Lord's Prayer before I go to bed because fuck demons. Wake up from nightmare again. See Megan dragging her mattress into the solitary room for some reason. Get up to see what the fuck she's doing. Find out her roommate snores really fucking loud, so the nurse told her to bring her mattress to the solitary room. Nowsamikins.png. Ask if I can hang out with her. She says yes. No sexy times, and for some reason the nurses never came to check rooms. They're supposed to check every room at 15-minute intervals. End up cuddling with Megan. Wake up from nightmare and we're laying face to face. She has her arms sort of curled against her and my arms are wrapped around her. Hand is on Dad's ass. Wood. Wake her up and tell her I'm going back to my room because it's almost time for the nurses to come get everyone for breakfast. Had a watch on BTW. Luckily, solitary door has been propped open by mattress so I am able to leave. Back in my room. Take shower with actual soap and go to breakfast. 2 new guys, but Trey was discharged. Kendall and Drake are the new guys. Kendall is a junkie and the only person not in there for attempted suicide. Drake is stereotypical super dude. On my way back to the room after on the groups, I glance back into one of the rooms as I walk past and just see his little kid sitting on the end of his bed. Staring out the window without a care in the world. Poor kid. Assume his parents just can't be bothered to deal with the child so they dumped him here. Probably doesn't even know why he's here. Oh, how wrong I was. Kid just looks at me and screams. Dave, look. Keeps screaming. Nurses throw him into the solitary room and close the door. He stays there for fucking hours. When he gets out he calls a nurse an apple fucker. Keck. From that point on the kid acted like a spawn of Lucifer. Just fucking yelling, screaming, and being a little shit. Pretty sure he saw things that no one else did, based on what he did when not many people were around. Would just stare in a random direction and mouth words. His head would turn slowly like he was tracking some moving object. Weird fucking kid, but think nothing of it. Have my first family meeting that day. Mother, who I don't exactly get along with, is there. Parents start talking about how abhorred they are by my interest in Crowley. This pisses me off, and I do the usual. Overly level voice, overly straight face, etc. Managed to convince the doctor I was in a fit of rage. Antipsychotics en room. Later that day I tell Colin about the nightmares. Reveals that he's a Satanist and I'm probably being fucked by his stupid demon shit. God damn it, Colin. Says he'll ask whatever it is to leave. Still have nightmares. I only remember one specific image. Megan's face, as a sickle is slowly dragged down her cheek from the side, bleeds way too much and she crying. No sound though. Same old, but I'm having trouble discerning what happened on what day and can't figure out how many days I've been in the hospital no matter how hard I think about it. Doctor reveals that my parents think I'm straight up insane for believing in God, angels, demons, etc. Parents forbid me from occult shit. Getting really pissed off because everyone is referring to all spirituality/occult stuff as black magic and telling me how evil it is. Tell the doctor about the nightmares, and he agrees to send a chaplain to my room later. Chaplain was nice, prayed with me, and gave me a prayer card and a copy of the New Testament. Dad visited and gave me a pendant of Saint Michael to save me from evil demons even though he didn't believe in any of that shit because he could see I was upset at the loss of my cross necklace. Still have the fucking nightmares. Wake up to see the image of Megan's bleeding face flash before my eyes once every few seconds. Don't go back to sleep. Colin jerks it in the bathroom because uneducated savage. Thin door, so I can hear everything. At this point, it was apparent to me, my family, and the doctor that whatever mental illness I had, it was getting worse. Colin gets discharged, leaving me alone. At this point, even the smallest things would set me off. They moved me one room over, in with Demetrius, so that they could have a free room for some kid with behavioral issues. Go to sleep in bed facing the door. Wake up from nightmare to see Lucifer kid standing in the doorway and staring at me. He mouths something at me. Only thing I can make out is apple fucker. Keck. Tell him to fuck off before I throw him into solitary. He leaves. Later hear more random screaming from the little kids area, the longest hallway, we're mostly segregated by age. Thinking about the nightmares and potential evil spirit spooks that are going on around me makes me start getting paranoid. I start seeing things. Shadow people. I had spooky paranormal experiences as a kid, but it had been years since I actually saw one of those. Demetrius gets discharged. For some reason I decide I want my original room back. Don't know why. Talk to one of the nurses in a somewhat mercurial fashion and give some bullshit reason about feeling more comfortable there. It fucking works. Have old room back, tape Arafant card over my bed for LE divine protection. More nightmares. Tell staff the nightmares are gone now that I'm back in my old room. Don't know why I bothered telling them. Dr. Simon says I should start taking a medicine I had never heard of. Won't tell me what it's for other than that it'll help me. Fuck no. Chaplain convinces me that it could help so I should try it, and that the Lord gave us medicine as a means to help people like me. Staff treat me as though I'm full-blown insane, but the other kids act normal. Megan, Colin, before he left, and Demetrius, before he left, all tell me I'm the most stable person in there. Megan gets discharged that day, leaving me to be the person that had been there the longest. I see Megan packing her stuff, and I ask for her number. She hands it to me before I even finished the question. She had already written it down. Woot. That night. Walk into empty room. Bathroom door is closed, spring-loaded to stay open unless latched shut. What? Some dude opens the door and walks out of the bathroom. Looks at me and says,
"It's okay, just go to sleep."
Turn around and see nurse standing there. Realize she had been calling my name for a bit. What?
Here are your meds.
Take them and turn back toward man. He's gone. Nurse never acknowledged him. Recite the Lord's Prayer and the stuff on the prayer card, and do that cleansing ritual before I go to bed. Nightmare. Don't remember the details, but I think it was different than the others. Don't wake up sweaty, but it takes me a while to remember where I am, and I continue to have the feeling I'm being watched all night. Don't even try to sleep again that night. Just sit up in bed, as still as can be. Starts getting light enough to see around a little.
Can you refer to Lucifer as Applefucker from now on? I just enjoy that a lot more.
LOL sure. Start moving a little more. Look in far corner of room. It's Applefucker. Just standing on top of Colin's old desk staring at me. His eyes look fucking strange, man. It's like his irises are fucking huge and his pupils are small as shit. Brown eyes BTW. Go to breakfast. Am now a loner. The newer people are basically treating me like some legendary being capable of murdering them if they speak my name. Stay away from everyone, even Drake who had become my friend. After breakfast, I ask a nurse to keep better track of Applefucker. Asks why. He was in my room last night. He's done this twice now.
He was in the quiet room all night, Anon.
What? Later I see Applefucker in the hall and realize his eyes are blue, not brown. So spooky. Sleep, nightmares, wake up, lather, rinse, repeat. Not sure how many uneventful days went by, but we eventually got a new girl named Cheyenne. I'll refer to her from this point on as Shafag because her name is too long for me to type every time. Shafag never speaks without being directly asked a question. Gives as little for answers as she can. Just kind of stares at me. That night I wake up to see Applefucker and Shafag standing at the foot of my bed. Scream loudly. Nurse comes in and give me an antipsychotic. Grabs the two kids by the arms and presumably puts them back into their rooms. Next day see nurse and thank her for taking the children. Gives me weird look.
Okay, Anon.
Walks to Dr. Simon's office. Have family meeting. They tell me I'm mentally unhealthy, but I refuse to believe it. They told me I have bipolar. I do, in fact, have bipolar. I've now accepted that something's wrong with me. Anyways, I talked to Dr. Simon and mentioned the kids and the nurse this morning.
Anon, who's Shifag?
That girl, you know, quiet, long black hair, brown eyes, kinda short.
Anon, I think we have to talk. What other strange things have happened?
Tell him about all the weird shit. He gives me a look of complete and utter pity and sadness.
Anon, something is seriously wrong.
He prescribes more meds in addition to the Lamictal I was taking for bipolar. Decide I'll pretend they help so I can leave. They actually do help. Shafag disappears, Applefucker stops appearing in my room, but he normal paranormal shit, shadow beings, and ghosties/evil forces, continues as it has through the rest of my life. Another family meeting. They let me go on pass with my family. Basically temporary discharge. Mess around at the nearby mall and buy a sweet ass Breaking Bad pin. Depressed as fuck every time I remember that I have to go back to the hospital. Surprisingly, when we get back the hospital says I'm ready for discharge because I had finally accepted that I have mental illnesses. Cool M8. Go home. Listen to really loud music in the car the entire room, don't even talk to family. They seem disturbed by this. We get home and they lay down retarded rules. 1. No religion, quote, we want to keep you grounded in reality. 2. No research into black magic. 3. No computer/internet/cell phone after 10 p.m. 4. Bedroom door open at all times. 5. No being home alone. Etc. etc. Still having nightmares, but am no longer a danger to my family and friends. Opened the floodgates and started telling people I'm back from my disappearance today. Shadow people still hanging out. The only thing that's really terrifying is that I keep finding myself not being able to really keep days straight, and everything is just blending together. I can't figure out if some things are real, paranormal stuff, or hallucinations. Having some auditory hallucinations and strange dreams. I think I'm still going insane. Also, I've been having some fun with Megan, and Colin found God. Also Colin's with Popsicle now. Also, I missed my meds last night and woke up from another one of those out of the ordinary nightmares to see Applefucker standing behind my waist-high bookshelf and staring at me. He had a fucking scar on his face. The same scar I have from the time some fuckhead hit me in the eye with a golf driver. Shafag was leaning in the doorway and staring at me silently. The doctor never said what he thinks my secondary issue is, the one presumably causing the hallucinations, and I don't think my family knows about it. How fucking crazy am I? Am I fucked? What the fuck do you guys think this shit is? Forgot to mention. Found out before I left that I was acting weird as fuck after I became the village elder of the hospital. The mutterings I was hearing from the other patients were actually non-existent. I was talking strangely, so presumably a manic period or something.
You don't have hallucinations prior to pills, it could be the pills that made it worse. ND pills have lasting effects.
I saw Applefucker before I started pills. Like I said, the days sort of blended together so the story might not be that accurate. I remember thinking that the Lamictal might help me deal with Applefucker before I agreed to start taking it.
What are you currently on?
Don't know. Lamictal is the only one I remember the name of. I'm pretty sure Dr. Simon is kinda crazy BTW.
That was a great fucking story though. Your fucking crazies make for some excellent nightmare fuel. Maybe you can write some horror novels.
I am a writer. Just not horror, and most of what I write is unpublished. I have a Deviant account under this name.
Wow, I thought the hospital's job was to cure your insanity, not make you crazier. If you want my totally non-expert and unqualified opinion, it sounds to me like you could have some latent schizophrenia, or that you picked up some neg attachments at the hospital. Literally a wonderful place for that to happen. Have you ever thought of finding a therapist who works with occultist spiritual people, or who is one themselves? They are out there. A lot of the butchers in the psychiatric profession today can't tell the difference between religiosity, spirituality, and mental disorders. They're not healthy people to work with.
I'm kind of attached to my current therapist. The only reason she didn't know how fucked I up am is because I hadn't been honest about it and with her. I'd love to look for an occult one though.
Google says Lamictal is used to treat bipolar disorder, maybe not as crazy as you thought. Perhaps he didn't mention its purpose so as not to influence you. A placebo effect?
I just talked to Dad. He says other than my allergy medicine I'm only taking Lamictal, and he's the one that takes care of the meds. Now that I think about it, I haven't actually seen the same pill the doc gave me that one time in the little medicine cup. I think the sky bastard placeboed me. And I know that's what Lamictal is for. I said I have bipolar.
Hey, mate, I had similar experience, except I was able to find reality and the illusions throughout the whole thing. Basically what I believe happened to you, is that in your past lives you had unfinished deeds with spirits. They came back and wanted for you to acknowledge it, which you started doing actually. Crowley's magic. This is called shaman's sickness, and that's how people would become shamans in the past. This still happens in Mongolia. You should keep your belief in God, but don't go mental on getting rid of the spirits. Realize that they can't do shit to you because Jesus God's on your side and all they can do is scare you. I started practicing Buddhism and through this don't even need the meds now. Basically you've got to realize they are illusionary and can't hurt you, and they stop affecting you. It'll be lurking if you have questions.
I don't really believe in past lives, ma. I have a strange view on the afterlife that I'm not sure anyone else has. You see, I believe in an all-loving God. I think that, when you die, whatever you believe is going to happen, will happen. Not what you want to happen, but what you actually believe will happen, consciously or otherwise. That might be heaven, that might be hell, that might be reincarnation, that might be non-existence, etc. etc. Because God loves us, He doesn't want us to have the rude awakening that lol you were wrong all along, have fun in hell. Is that view weird to you guys?
That is actually a Buddhist view. That state is called bardo, between lives. Basically by being not prepared we by accident end up living again, when we could technically go to hell, heaven or even nowhere, live in a state of non-being, blissful non-being. I share that belief. Even if you don't believe in past lives, basically think of it T-way. The spirits decided you'd be a great medium to connect with the outer world, therefore they'll mock you until you respond and help them. All things need help, even demons and ghosts, except they need special help, not exactly what they ask for.
Wow, Buddhist, huh? Shit, I thought I was special. I suppose it's not surprising that something like that would connect to me, considering the past I've had with the paranormal. You seem like a smart dude. Can you tell me anything else to help me out?
So basically this'll be much harder for you as you fall into the hallucinations. I had the luck to be able to have a grasp on reality throughout the whole thing. You should try meditating and clearing the mind, don't do any meditational techniques. This will help you come back to the feeling of normal. From what you told me about the days blending, you are experiencing slight derealization, everything seems kind of like a dream, real, but not right. Everything happens a second too fast etc. Keep taking your meds until that feeling is gone, but keep practicing clearing your mind. After that, the choice of your path is yours. Keep praying because that'll keep you clear of any spirits that want to create more hallucinations. Basically, the virus are the spirits, the headache and fever are the hallucinations. Once you've got a strong immune system, you won't need outer antibiotics, antipsychotic meds.